What if the cameras weren't just there to capture the Brown family's story, but to control it? Christine is finally speaking out, and she claims Kodyb had a hidden agenda all along. Could filming sister wives have been his secret weapon to keep everyone in line? When Christine Brown walked away from her decades-long marriage to Kodyb Brown, she did more than simply leave behind a plural marriage. She also left behind the dynamics of a family that had been living under the eye of reality television cameras for more than a decade. Now, in her memoir and in interviews following the explosive unraveling of Sister Wives, Christine is pulling back the curtain on what she says was Kodyb's secret weapon, the use of filming as a means of control. What was once thought to be just a lens capturing the lives of a polygamist family for entertainment may, according to Christine, have been deliberately used by Kodyb as leverage to keep wives and children in line. For years, Sister Wives was pitched to viewers as a groundbreaking reality series that explored love, faith, family, and the unconventional lifestyle of polygamy. The Browns, Kodyb, his 4 wives Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, along with their many children, were thrust into the spotlight. Fans believed they were seeing candid glimpses into the family's day-to-day life. But Christine has suggested that the story was never told in the way it truly unfolded behind closed doors. In her eyes, the cameras weren't only capturing the drama, they were shaping it, and Kodyb knew exactly how to manipulate that power. Christine has explained that Kodyb often invoked filming schedules and production expectations whenever conflict arose in the household. If a wife resisted one of his ideas or challenged his authority, Kodyb allegedly reminded her that the cameras were rolling, and their actions could reflect poorly on the entire family. According to Christine, this constant reminder to behave for television wasn't just about protecting their image, it was about enforcing Kodyb's vision of how the family should function. He allegedly leveraged the idea that their reputation, the show's continuation, and even their financial stability depended on everyone cooperating and presenting themselves the way he wanted. This claim paints a striking picture of a household where private disagreements couldn't remain private. Christine says Kodyb had mastered the art of turning the cameras into silent enforcers of discipline. If a wife questioned his decisions, she risked not only Kodyb's anger but also the possibility that her resistance would be captured and broadcast to millions. Christine has said that this pressure created a chilling effect where wives felt compelled to fall in line, not just out of loyalty or religious duty but out of fear of public humiliation. Cameras, she argues, became less about documenting their lives and more about ensuring compliance. As the seasons went on, fans began to notice cracks in the foundation of the Brown family. Christine, once portrayed as cheerful and accommodating, started to show visible frustration. Her complaints about being treated unfairly gained traction, especially as Kodyb spent increasing amounts of time with Robin, his 4th and youngest wife. Viewers saw Christine break down in tears, confessing her loneliness and feelings of rejection. But Christine insists that even these emotional moments were influenced by Kodyb's awareness of the cameras. He allegedly positioned himself to appear as the rational and burdened patriarch while Christine and the other wives, if they showed discontent, risked being painted as unreasonable. Christine's revelations raise questions about authenticity in reality television. How much of what viewers saw was organic family conflict, and how much was subtly staged or manipulated by Kodyb using the cameras as a weapon? She claims that while producers wanted drama, Kodyb wanted control. By blending the two, he created an environment where the wives' every move was scrutinized, and the consequences of stepping out of line were magnified by the fear of how it would play on national television. For Christine, the weight of this tactic became unbearable. She describes the years of feeling silenced, knowing that even if she wanted to confront Kodyb privately, the cameras were omnipresent. If she argued with him, she risked appearing bitter or jealous to the outside world. If she stayed silent, she preserved the peace on screen but sacrificed her dignity. Christine eventually realized that her marriage had become less about faith and family, and more about Kody's need to project an image of control. One of the most telling aspects of Christine's accusations is her insistence that Kodyb wasn't merely reacting to the cameras but actively strategizing with them in mind. She has recounted instances where Kodyb allegedly choreographed scenes, reminding family members of what needed to be said or avoided to maintain the narrative he wanted the audience to see. Christine says that this constant performance blurred the line between reality and fabrication, leaving her feeling trapped in a role she no longer wanted to play. This claim resonates with fans who have followed Sister Wives for years, many of whom suspected that the show's portrayal was tilted in Kodyb's favor. Social media discussions often highlighted how Kodyb seemed to escape criticism while the wives were shown in moments of vulnerability or conflict. Christine's allegations suggest this was not accidental editing but the result of Kodyb's calculated manipulation of the filming process. The idea that Kodyb wielded the cameras as a form of control is particularly powerful given the financial dependence the family had on the show. For years, Sister Wives provided the Browns with income, notoriety, and opportunities they might not have otherwise had. Christine has hinted that Kodyb used this dependency as leverage, reminding the wives that without the show, the family's financial security could crumble. The unspoken threat was clear: conform to Kodyb's vision or risk jeopardizing not just your relationship but the entire family's livelihood. Christine's departure in 2021 marked a turning point not just for her but for the show itself. Her decision to leave was filmed and aired, becoming one of the most emotional storylines in Sister Wives history. But Christine has since explained that by the time cameras captured her decision, the emotional groundwork had been laid long before. She had grown weary of being policed by the cameras and by Kodyb's insistence that their lives were subject to the lens. Breaking free from the marriage meant breaking free from that surveillance, reclaiming her voice and telling her story in her own way. In the wake of her revelations, fans have revisited earlier seasons with fresh eyes, dissecting moments that may now look staged or controlled. Scenes where Christine appeared hesitant or uncomfortable take on new meaning when viewed through the lens of her claims. Was she genuinely shy, or was she biting her tongue because she knew how Kodyb would use the cameras against her? Did Kodyb's calm demeanor in arguments reflect patience, or was it a calculated performance designed to make Christine look unreasonable? The aftermath of Christine's claims has sparked intense debate among Sister Wives fans and critics of reality television alike. Kodyb indeed used filming as a control tactic. It underscores the darker side of reality TV, where authenticity is sacrificed and the emotional well-being of participants is compromised for the sake of narrative and power. Christine's bravery in speaking out has encouraged viewers to reconsider the nature of the show they've watched for more than a decade. It's not just a story of polygamy but also a story of control, manipulation, and the ways in which reality TV can amplify those dynamics. Christine's perspective also sheds light on her resilience. After years of feeling monitored and manipulated, she chose to step away, even knowing that the cameras would capture her departure in a way she couldn't control. Her decision to share her story outside the confines of the show, through her own platforms and her memoir, represents her reclaiming the narrative. Instead of being a character in Kodyb's carefully managed portrayal, Christine has become the author of her own story, unfiltered and unapologetic. Kodyb, for his part, has denied or downplayed many of the criticisms leveled by Christine and the other wives. He has insisted that the cameras simply documented their lives as they were, and that any portrayal of control or manipulation is either coincidental or exaggerated. But the growing chorus of voices from his ex-wives, Mary, Janelle, and Christine, all pointing to similar patterns of behavior, has made it harder for viewers to dismiss Christine's claims as isolated grievances. The ongoing unraveling of the Brown family and the revelations from Christine mark a new era for Sister Wives. What was once billed as a look at love and plural marriage has evolved into a complex examination of power, control, and the pressures of living life in front of cameras. Christine's accusation that filming was Kodyb's ultimate control tactic may be the most damning revelation yet, not only for what it says about Kody as a husband but also for what it suggests about the entire reality TV machine. In the end, Christine's story is one of liberation. She endured years of being silenced, monitored, and pressured to present an image that wasn't true to her reality. By walking away and speaking out, she has forced fans, producers, and even her family to reckon with the darker truths behind the cameras. Her courage has shifted the narrative from Kody's carefully crafted control to her own raw honesty, and in doing so, she has forever changed the way sister wives will be remembered. Christine's revelations remind us that reality television is never just reality. It is performance, it is narrative, and in the case of sister wives, it may also have been a tool of control wielded by a husband desperate to maintain power over a crumbling family. Whether fans believe Christine's version of events or not, one thing is certain: the image of Kodyb Brown as the misunderstood patriarch has been shattered, and in its place stands a more complicated, more troubling figure. And as Christine herself has made clear, she is no longer afraid of the cameras or of Kody's control. For the first time in decades, she is free to tell her truth without fear of how it will be edited, framed, or spun. And that freedom, more than anything, may be the final undoing of Kody's hidden agenda. Christine Brown has long been one of the most recognizable faces on reality television, thanks to her years on TLC's Sister Wives. To millions of viewers, she was known as the bright, quirky, and deeply loyal third wife of polygamist patriarch Kodyb Brown. But behind the smiles and the family drama that unfolded on screen, Christine harbored a private struggle that few could have imagined. In her new memoir, she delivers one of her most shocking revelations yet. She once battled an addiction to oxycodone, a struggle she describes with both brutal honesty and startling vulnerability. Her description of the drug as "the best high I ever felt" has sent shockwaves through her fans and the wider reality TV audience, peeling back another layer of what life in the Brown household was truly like. The memoir does not shy away from uncomfortable truths. Christine, who has since become a fan favorite for her independence and her decision to leave Kody, lays bare the depths of her emotional and physical struggles. In candid passages, she admits that oxycodone entered her life during a period of pain and exhaustion. What began as a prescription for relief quickly spiraled into something darker. She recounts the first time she took the pill, the warmth that spread through her body, and the euphoric sense of calm that followed. She writes that in that moment she felt completely at ease, as though every problem in her life had melted away. It was, as she confesses, the best high she had ever felt. This confession is striking not only because it is so deeply personal but also because it adds an unexpected dimension to the public image of Christine. Fans have watched her navigate heartbreak, jealousy, and the complexities of plural marriage on screen, but few suspected she had also been fighting an invisible battle with dependency. In her memoir, Christine explains that the pressures of her life, motherhood, plural marriage, the constant demands of the sister wives' cameras, and the deep loneliness she often felt, created fertile ground for addiction to take root. The drug offered a temporary escape from the chaos, but it came at a heavy cost. Christine's revelation highlights the stark contrast between the polished reality television persona and the messy, painful reality behind closed doors. While fans saw her as the wife who often put on a cheerful face, what they didn't see was how overwhelmed she felt. She details moments when she would retreat into herself, struggling silently with cravings and with the guilt of knowing that she was becoming dependent on something she couldn't control. Tension between her public role and her private reality grew unbearable, and her addiction only deepened her sense of isolation. In sharing her story now, Christine joins the ranks of celebrities and public figures who have spoken openly about addiction, breaking the stigma and inviting honest conversations about substance abuse. Her account is raw and unfiltered, shining a light on the fact that addiction doesn't discriminate. Even someone who appeared to have it all, a large family, a popular television show, and a strong faith, could find herself caught in the grip of dependency. Christine describes how difficult it was to admit the problem, even to herself, and how much harder it was to confront it while still living in a family where appearances and obedience were everything. The memoir also underscores how Christine's marriage to Kody contributed to her struggles. She reveals that the emotional neglect she felt in the marriage left her vulnerable. Kody's favoritism toward Robin and his increasing distance from Christine created a void she couldn't fill. In that void, oxycodone became both a comfort and a crutch. For a brief time, the drug allowed her to feel the love and peace she wasn't receiving from her relationship. But as Christine points out, the relief was fleeting, and the crash that followed was devastating. Her story makes it clear that addiction was not just about physical dependency, but about the emotional needs that were going unmet in her marriage. Christine's candor is especially powerful in a culture where reality stars are often expected to present sanitized versions of their lives. By admitting to something as stigmatized as drug addiction, she is taking a risk, but also setting herself free. Fans who once admired her for her bravery in leaving Kodyb may now see her in an even more heroic light, as someone who not only survived a difficult marriage but also overcame a personal battle that could have destroyed her life. Her willingness to describe oxycodone as the best high she ever felt underscores the seductive danger of the drug, which has been at the center of America's opioid crisis for years. By telling the truth about how good it felt at first, Christine makes her story relatable and honest, but also starkly cautionary. She writes about the turning point in her journey when she realized that her reliance on oxycodone was no longer about pain management but about escape. She describes the shame she felt, the fear of being discovered, and the way it began to affect her role as a mother. The thought that her children might one day see her struggle or suffer because of her choices became unbearable. This realization, combined with her growing determination to reclaim her life, pushed Christine to confront her addiction. Her path to recovery was not easy. Christine describes nights of agony, moments of doubt, and the emotional turmoil of letting go of something that had become both her enemy and her comfort. Yet she also recounts the strength she found in her children, in her faith, and ultimately in herself. Her memoir portrays recovery as a gradual process, filled with setbacks and small victories, rather than a single triumphant moment. It is this honesty that makes her story resonate so deeply with readers. Christine's revelation has also sparked conversations among Sister Wives fans about the hidden toll of life in a polygamist family under the spotlight of reality television. Many have speculated that the constant stress of filming, coupled with the emotional neglect she experienced, may have contributed to her vulnerability to addiction. Her story serves as a reminder that reality TV, despite its glossy appearance, often hides far more pain than it reveals. For Christine, the cameras captured tears and arguments, but they never captured the private battle she was waging when no one was looking. Her memoir may also change the way viewers interpret past seasons of Sister Wives. Fans are now revisiting scenes where Christine appeared exhausted, withdrawn, or unusually emotional, wondering if those moments were connected to the struggles she now admits. The revelation adds a haunting undertone to episodes once viewed as mere family drama. Suggests that what viewers were watching was not just conflict between wives or marital discord, but the visible surface of a much deeper personal battle. Christine's honesty could also serve as a lifeline for others struggling with similar issues. By speaking openly, she helps dismantle the shame surrounding addiction. Her willingness to admit both the allure of oxycodone and the destruction it caused makes her message all the more powerful. She is not offering a sanitized version of recovery, she is offering the truth. In doing so, she empowers others to acknowledge their struggles and to seek help without fear of judgment. The significance of Christine's revelation extends beyond her personal story. It intersects with broader cultural conversations about addiction, the opioid crisis, and the unrealistic pressures placed on women, particularly those in high-demand roles like mothers, wives, and public figures. Christine's experience illustrates how easily someone can fall into addiction when they are overworked, undersupported, and emotionally neglected. It also illustrates how recovery is possible, even when the odds seem overwhelming. As Christine continues to build her life beyond Sister Wives, her memoir becomes not just a story of survival but also of transformation. She has moved from being a woman defined by her relationship with Kodyb to being a woman defined by her courage, her resilience, and her determination to tell the truth. Her confession about oxycodone is shocking, but it is also deeply humanizing. It reminds fans that behind the fame and the headlines, she is a woman who has faced struggles, made mistakes, and found a way to rise above them. In the end, Christine's memoir is more than just a tell-all about her time in a plural marriage.